In the last clip, you have already seen how to design this single pitch roof, and now it's time to little bit work on the editing part of the scene. So let's try to check out, like if you just figure out you are working right now with the ground floor as your current story, and now I'm going to select this roof. The moment you select this roof with the arrow tool, you can see there's supposed to be one blue color line which is known as your roof's pivot line. Okay, with respect to this line, the inclination of your roof will be decided plus the height of the roof from the current story or whatever you have given the offset. So here we have given 2700 as the offset from the home story, that is ground floor. Okay, so let's go and try to little bit elaborate this further. For that matter, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to now check out. Apart from this, you can see this roof is also got selected and the pivot line both. So with this selected roof, if you just want to edit something related to the roof periphery, you single click on any of this particular node. After clicking on one of the node, you can see you will get the pit palette, which will give you all the standard options the way you must have experienced them at the time of the editing of the slab also. So there's no much difference between the slab editing and the roof editing. So for example, this move node, you can actually shift it on any other location. You can see the effect in 3D also, or you can even edit the object in 3D, or otherwise you have an option of working with offset edges, offset all edges. You can offset all the edges also. You can surely work with add polygon. So somewhere if I just want to add some more area, remember now add polygon, once you select this option, at the top geometry method you have to choose the one which is suitable for you. For example, in this case I am going to use the rectangle method. Now the compulsion is whatever is the added area should have a common edge between the old region or area and the new one. You cannot have this kind of a common point, which will not help you to add the new region. So this is again similar like your slab tool. So now if I'm going to say that this I want to add, say approximately say 3 meter by 3 meter, right? So I've just added one region of 3 meter by 3 meter. You can see the reflection of that immediately in your view. Okay, so now this was something very simple editing which I can say. Now if in case let's try to go back one step and do. Now if in case you just want to do some different try with some different features, for example the pivot line. Now remember, if you click on the one of the node of the pivot line, obviously the pit palette will give you the option as a move sub element. This move sub element, you can remember the length of the pivot line. If you change, it is not going to make any difference in your structure of the roof or its periphery or its appearance. Okay, so length of the pivot line is not important, but its direction is very important. Say for example, if I try to change the same pivot line, make sure again I click on the in mode, but the pit palette move sub element was my selected option, and if you read the prompt, it is written position roof reference axis. So I'm just going to go and click on this point. You will see now the immediately the change in your design. This time your roof was giving you a lot of variation in its overall appearance. And now remember, the length of the pivot line, as I've said, is not important, but its direction matters. And now if you again check out that your given 2700 height will be adjusted at this level. The small tick shows the upward pitch of the roof. Okay, so this is the upward pitch of the roof. So this is how one can surely, what you can say, edit this single pitch roof very comfortably. Of course, if you want to create some puncture, you can do the same job the way you have tried with adding the polygon. You can go for the subtract polygon. You can definitely design some kind of a puncture into this. That will give you the reflection. If you want to move this puncture, even you can select that into 3D. Now make sure that I've just selected the puncture, not the entire roof. And now if you say Ctrl D, you can drag it also. If you want to put Ctrl Shift D, you can make a copy of this. So this is also possible. If you just hit the delete key, this will get deleted. It is just like what you have tried with the slab too. So no such difference between the slab and roof tool, except that inclination angle. Of course, if I select this roof, and if you just check out, this inclination angle is right now 20 degree, that is pitch. So if I make it 0, you will see exactly my roof is now becoming horizontal. Okay, so you will see then what will be the kind of a plus point. It depends on your design needs. In future, when you start working with this next feature of working with the skylight, and if you just check out, of course I'll explain these things in detail, but if I take any such skylight and if I just want to insert this, you can obviously you can place such punctures also very quickly, which probably the slab is not going to accept. So anyway, now we'll try to go back to our normal inclination slope, that is pitch, and I'm going to show you one more interesting feature. Like, if in case you want to adjust two different roof slopes and form in a ridge line, how you can work for that. So I'm going to go back to the previous setting, that is nothing but my pivot line was just as a default one, the way initially we have started with. And what I'm going to do along with this roof, I'm going to select this 4 walls also. I'm just going to say Ctrl Shift N, mirror copy. From this corner, I'm going to keep a gap of say maybe 4 meter, and I'm just going to complete this mirror access, so I'll get the exactly similar structure but in the mirror condition. So now if I select this section line, if I click on one of the node of the section line, you can see the stretch option is available in your pet palette. Simply try to extend the stretch this section line so that it will pass from the other structure also. If I open this, of course one can do these adjustments directly in the 3D also, sorry, directly in your section window also. For example, if you just move this particular section limit line or the limit of the section line, section is shown over there. Okay, so this is how one can even try to rework on the section line for its overall length. Okay, so now the next target is what? If I just want to intersect these two roofs and form a ridge line. But for that, what I'm going to do is a very simple job. I'm not going to keep both this pitch of the roof as the same. See, for example, if I select this side and if I just want to make this slope say for 30 degrees, okay, so there is a difference now between this and this. So if you just check out, if I place the guideline, now make sure if your guideline button is on, you can see the guideline marks are available on the 4 corners of your screen. So you can pull any from anywhere, you can pull the guideline, and I'm just going to align for this slope and one more guideline which will align for the slope. You can see now this point becomes my apex point or a ridgeline point. Now if I just want to extend these two roofs in the space and I want to find out that exact intersection point, how can I do that? It's a very simple logic. Just try to focus on the steps which I am explaining now. So if I go back to this my floor plan, I'll select the roof which I want to edit, but remember this roof will not be get adjusted in the beginning. The one which is unselected will get adjusted. So I'm just selecting this as a reference roof. Getting the point? So this becomes my reference roof and this is my targeted roof which will readjust accordingly, and then afterwards vice versa. Okay, so I have selected this object and then now simply I have to make sure I have to hold this my control key and simply click on the edge of this roof. You will see immediately there is a change in the overall projection of the roof, and if you open your 3D if your section window, you will get automatically that point up to which this roof was extended. right? In the same manner I am going to do for the other side. So this time the one which I want to adjust will not be get selected, be careful. The other one will get selected because that's the reference one. And with the control key pressed, I just have to click the Mercedes cursor on the edge which I want to extend or adjust. Remember, that should be in the same direction where this pitch of the roof is going upward according to your need. So moment I click on this, you will see now two of them got adjusted exactly, and this kind of a ridge line was designed in the space where these two roofs are supposed to intersect with each other exactly. Right? So let's try to go and check out in 3D also. This is what we have done. Of course, my plinth was missing for one of the side, but that's fine. You can understand what I was talking about. Okay, so this is how that single pitch roof can be get worked out. Of course, one can draw this with some other method also. That means once you start working with the next part of the roof, that is multi-plane, you will understand you can even design accordingly. So that's not going to be a problem.